triangles are congruent. So we're going to learn a whole bunch of different ways to prove triangles are congruent. Okay? Today, triangles with the same shape and size are congruent. Okay, and this means that all corresponding parts, so that means sides and angles, are going to be congruent. Okay, so when we talk about congruency statements, that's when we're saying triangle ABC is congruent to triangle DEF. Okay, what you need to know about this though is that corresponding parts are going to go with each other. So, like, here it's A comes first and D comes first. That's going to tell us that A is congruent to D. Okay, so all the corresponding parts. You're going to have to be careful about how you write it, because this will also mean that B, because it's the middle letter, B is congruent to E, and C is congruent to F, because it goes in that order. Does that make sense? Okay, CP, CTC, congruent parts of congruent triangles are, sorry, I screwed this up. Not congruent parts, it is corresponding parts. Sorry. Corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent. You'll also see this as CPCFC sometimes. Okay? Replacing that triangles with figures, because it works for any shape. Okay? Corresponding parts of congruent figures are congruent. Okay, the next part is today isn't so bad. Okay, so they tell us, they give us the congruency statement that triangle JKL is congruent to triangle PQR. Okay, all they want to know is list the congruency stuff according to the congruency statement. So angle J is going to be congruent to angle who? P, because they're corresponding. They're the first letter of each one. Okay, angle K is going to be congruent to angle Q, and angle L will be congruent to angle R. Okay, make sure you use your angle symbolism there. You don't want to write it out. Alright, so now the sides. I always take the first two letters. So side JK is congruent to side EQ. And then I do the next two letters. So KL is congruent to QR, because it's the next two letters, KL and QR. And then I do the first and the last. So JL is congruent to PR. There you go. Okay, so number two, okay, I could use a little bit more participation in this rather than just one person telling me. Okay, and this one, angle, what? W is congruent to angle E. Angle X is congruent to angle, and angle is congruent to angle D. Yep. Okay, sides. What's my first side of the first triangle? WX is congruent to F xy is congruent to FG, and there you go. It's congruent to so if it's asking for another valid congruency statement, it's just asking for you to write this statement another way. So I could say triangle, instead of WXY, I could say YXW, but then it would be congruent to triangle who? GFE. Okay, easy peasy, right? Alright, so over here, okay, they're kind of flipping our triangles a little bit, but they gave us the congruency statement. KPM is congruent to AYC. So KM is going to be congruent to AC. Yep. Okay, now, this is how they're going to mark up their stuff. So KM is congruent to AC. So KM congruent to AC. That's going to be just one little dash mark, meaning that those two are congruent to each other. Okay, CY is congruent to MP. Okay, since I already used one dash, now they're going to use two dashes, saying those two sides are congruent. Okay, and PK is going to be congruent to YA. Okay, and if you're confused on how, PK is middle first, so you got to go middle first. And so now they'll use three dash marks to say that they're congruent. All right, angle Y goes to angle P. Okay, so now it's going to be when we do angles, there are little arches in the angle. So that one would have one arch. Angle K goes with angle A. And since I used one arch already, we've got to go two little arches. ACY goes with KMP. Yep, it goes in the same order as the other one. Okay, so we've used 1, 2, 3, or we've used 1, 2. Now we use 3 marks. All right, so triangle MPK is congruent to, make sure you have a triangle in front of it. Triangle, yep, M is the last letter, so we use the last letter of the other one, C. P is still the middle, so that's Y. And the M is the last, or sorry, K is the last one. Goes with the first one. Yeah. Okay, triangle yak. Somebody got it, thanks. I appreciate it. Triangle yak is congruent to triangle P, K, M. Questions? No? Alright, so now STW is congruent to BFN. Okay, so BN, they want to know what BN equals. Well, BN is going to be the same as SW. What is SW? 9. So BN is going to be 9 centimeters. Okay, TW is the same as FN, and FN is 14 centimeters. BF is the same as ST, and what is ST? 17 centimeters. Okay. Angle W is the same as angle N, so that's 82. Angle B is the same as angle S, which is 67. So B is 67. Uh-oh. I don't know F and T. How? Now that up to 180, yep. So you got to take 180 minus 82 minus 67 gives us 31. See how we got that? Alright, so let's take one peek at down here. All of a sudden, let's do number 9. They don't give us a picture. What should we do? Draw a picture. Alright, so we have Q, R, S, we have M, make sure they go together. Q's here, you want M here, and P, and it doesn't matter how you draw it, but I would always suggest drawing it. Okay, QR is 11, QS is 15, MP is 2x plus 1, S is 84, R 32, M 17, Y minus 4. Alright, now I'm going to start figuring some stuff out, right? Because they want X and Y. Okay, so how can I figure out X? Yeah, it's going to equal 15. Because those two are corresponding parts. So 2x plus 1 equals 15. 2x equals 14. X equals 7. Alright, y is in angle M, right? But do I know, because M goes with Q, do I know angle Q over there? Can I find angle Q? Yeah, what's angle Q going to be? 180 minus 84 minus 32 gives me what? 64. Thank you. Everybody else watch. Okay, so now what? Now what do I know? Huh? 17y. Careful, minus 4 equals 64. So 17y equals 68. Y is 4. Hey, super horrible today? It should